Oh, I see what's wrong. Hold on. Gotta swap this over. Welcome, everybody. Good afternoon. Some reason, like, the Streamlabs completely reset on me right as we, like, started this whole thing, and I was like, what going on? There we go. I was like, I had the whole thing set up. All right. Let's go. All right, here we go. The ACC gets going in earnest today. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome, Orlando. Welcome, Timothy. Welcome, Nick. Let's hope that our Blue Devils manage to not get down, 10 points early kind of thing, because I don't know if we can, like, I just can't take it anymore. Like, the whole like, don't play for the first 10 minutes of the game really isn't a great look for our Blue Devils here, although they have proven to be resilient. But yeah, a Georgia Tech team that looks a little different than the one last year. Duke and Georgia Tech split the regular season meetings last year, each winning on their home court. Both games extremely competitive, within 4 and 5 points respectively. And this one is, but Georgia Tech not having as good a season as they did last year here, 5-6, as they've lost to every single ranked team that they have played, including Cincinnati, Oklahoma, and UNC. So they are already 0-1 on the season. That one loss for Georgia Tech coming at the hands of the Tar Heels, as Cooper Flagg gets a hard foul there and goes to the deck. Stellar jersey, Duke hat repping both teams today. What? Wait, stellar jersey. I'm not sure I follow. Do you have your jersey and your hat on? Is that what you're going for? I agree. I think I was working on the look. It does look better. I like this second iteration. Thanks, Orlando. The second iteration, I think the top, I like where it's at. Now I got to work on the entire, like, gradients and colors of the bottom piece. Cooper Flagg, 1 of 2 at the free throw line. He was 13, actually, of his last 13 free throws. This was going back to the game against Louisville. He was 8 for 8 in the previous game against George Mason, and then he hit a bunch late in the Louisville game. So Flagg has been doing very well at the free throw line, and there gets a rare miss, actually, is what we're at. Oh, Steelers jersey. Okay, Steelers jersey and a Duke hat. That works. All right. Now it makes sense to me. You got to rep both your teams. Yeah. Although the Steelers don't play today, do they? They play tomorrow, I guess. There's 2 games today, but I thought they were kind of like, I didn't, or is the Steelers game today? I'm losing track. There's like so much, right? You got a Duke game today. We got 3 college football playoff games. There's 2 NFL games. I know one of them is Kansas City, and I don't know the other ones. I thought it was Kansas City, Vegas, but I'm not sure that's correct. Oh my goodness, nice rejection there by James. 2-1 here in the early going. 2.5 minutes played. Haven't missed much. Happy Sunday, everybody. Oh, they play the Ravens. Oh, wow. Okay. So there's like a whole, I saw someone's take on Twitter the other day. I think it was like Tony Kornheiser or whatever, who was like, why would the college football playoff schedule over the NFL? And I'm like, I think you have the line backwards there. Like, I'm pretty sure college football is intended to be played on Saturday, and therefore it's acceptable that the college football playoff plays on Saturday because that's what you would normally think. So why is the NFL on not standard networks, by the way, right? They're like on Netflix or something, I think. Is it Netflix today? It's like schedule on top of the college football playoff. and it's like these like pseudo non-ABC, NBC, like NBC, Fox, CBS ones are like trying to like mess around with the schedule so that everybody could get their one game of the season in. That's a travel. That's a travel. Okay, never mind. I was gonna miss the shot there. Missed by George. Nathan George, by the way, number one in the ACC in assists, averaging about, was it 6.5 per game, and averaging about 12 points. Nice shot there by Knipple, who finds his 3-point range there early in the game. No TNT, or you can get it at HBO Max. For college, NFL has NBC and Fox. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's like all sorts of like screwed up. It's a very positive sign for Knipple here. Oh my goodness. Malewicz didn't realize the shot was actually blocked. He could have easily picked that one up. Good interior passing by Georgia Tech. And it's an easy bucket there. That was by Mutombo. Yeah, Malewicz thought he was going to go up for a rebound. He didn't realize the shot had been blocked. He could have just picked it up there. Flag trying to find the range from 3. No, he's still been struggling from the outside. Everything, he actually fixed the free throw shooting, and everything else seems to, is like the 3-point shot is the last one he's going to have to work on, I think. He's going to have a decent time to do so. That's an and one by Proctor. Absolutely. Great drive to the basket by Tyrese, who I felt like was rather quiet in the George Mason game. Yeah, it was only 8 points there. All right, we've hit the 16-minute timeout. I have to actually go get more water. I'll be right back. As we were talking about this one, I can still talk to you while I am walking. As I was saying, Flag has done a great job of fixing his free throw shooting, and after today, he will have a 10-day break before we play again on the 31st. So it'll be our New Year's Eve game to try to fix some three-point shooting as well. That's like the only weakness in the game so far. He's also done a great job at fixing the turnovers that really plagued him when the good teams, the Kansases and the Kentuckys, were bringing the double teams there every time he caught the ball. Basically inside the 3-point line, actually, yeah, outside the 3-point line too. They were just bringing double team every time. So very positive developments there for Coop. Also, his 18th birthday today. Cooper Flag is finally 18 years old, which is sort of hilarious. Let me gotta pull up some statistics here. Is it not gonna give me like the live stats? That broadcast. The Georgia Tech part is kind of hidden. Oh, yeah, true. There you go. Oh man, that means that thing's gotta extend by a couple another pixels. We can fix it. Yeah, Duke doesn't look bad on defense. The defense has always been good. I mean, Duke remains in the top 5 defensively. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to extend that way. I mean, the game where our defense is bad is going to be the game where you're like, wow, what happened? Like, that's unexpected. All right, there it is. Fixed it. Get rid of that, actually. Oh, now it's 2. Wait. Revert the change. Revert the change. That's the intention there. All right. I knew I had it right. I was going crazy. Why didn't the score update? Probably because it's hidden. For whatever reason, it doesn't like to update when I have the tab hidden. There it is. Now it's easier to see. 8-6. Mutombo, Doggo, and George. There's your 6 for Georgia Tech. All right. There, we're good now. This timeout is actually like super late in the thing. SMU isn't wearing their good jerseys for football. I was really disappointed to know that we were scheduled on top of one of those games, and then I saw what game it was, and I was like, oh, we don't actually need to worry because it's like the SMU Penn State game. Penn State's gonna win big. Actually, Penn State has had a history of losing like really big games, right? I think was it James Franklin, their coach, is like 0 and he's like 0 and 8, 0 and 9 or something in like these like marquee sort of games, but I think today they finally break the streak. It would have been, tell you what, it would have been a much better game if it was Bama Penn State. Would have been way more entertaining. That's a foul. Nicely done by Flag as he draws another foul there into the paint. No, Oregon has a bye. So Oregon will not play until the next round, actually. This is like the wild card round. It means I guess they play next week. So as Flag misses another free throw. Personal fouls. Mutombo's got 2. There you go. All right, Flag 1 of 2. So he's 2 of 4 from the line. 10-6 here, Duke, as we've kind of weathered the early action here from the Yellow Jackets. Isaiah Evans in the game now. Isaiah Evans has been very, very good these last couple games. That's a turnover from Georgia Tech and up ahead. Nicely done. Proctor to Flag. Flag running the floor. Flag with the slam. Yes. Whoops, not 43. 4. Duke in transition there off the steal. Great active hands by Proctor to initiate that. That's a hold. Holding on the defense. Having hamburger steak with garlic bread today. Nice. Isaiah Evans with the foul. I have not had my lunch yet. I had a quick snack. I actually got up early, walked the dog, went to the gym. Well, I did breakfast before that. And then I had a snack right before the game, but I'm going to wait till after to have my lunch. Strong drive there to the basket by Mustaf. They're splitting the Duke defenders. I don't think Cooper really came over to contest there. Cooper's been off to a really good start. 4 points, and Knipple again on the curl. Yeah, Knipple for a second one. 6 points for Khan here in the early going. He's got his 3-point shot going. I actually did not watch the Indiana game last night, so I have not seen that scoreboard. I'll have to take a look after the, or we can take a look at one of the, during one of the timeouts. The whole like IU Notre Dame game was a bit of a sham, honestly, because like, I mean, it turned out to be like Indiana ended up getting killed, and then you're like, then you actually look at Indiana's schedule and you realize they only played one ranked team the entire season, which was Ohio State, and they got killed. They lost by 21. They basically lost by 3 or 4 touchdowns. And so you're just like, okay, should they actually have been ranked that high? Like, I have questions about that. I guess if you're Alabama, you're like you feel very bad about that one more so maybe than SMU, depending on the outcome tonight. Notre Dame not going to do well against Georgia. I mean, they have Leonard Riley, our former quarterback. I guess I wish him well, but it should be an interesting game. The Georgia one is slightly has a bit of intrigue to it too, because they don't have their starting quarterback, right? Carson Beck's even injured his arm there in the other game. Evans for 3. Beautiful shot. It's actually the Duke 3-point shots are hot here. This should be a timeout by Tech, as we're not only are we under the 12-minute mark, but Duke has extended an 11-point lead as we've been having this nice conversation on the side. But yeah, Isaiah Evans there. So we've got Kon Knueppel 2 of 2 from 3. Isaiah Evans 101. And I got a Georgia Tech player that I don't know that was not on my roster here. I was Duncan Powell. I was deceived. Three there. Okay. How many fouls do we have? One, just one. Much better start than last game. I agreed. Much better start than last game. I was going to say one thing about Isaiah Evans before I forget. His 3-point shooting has actually been really, really it's been really good these last couple games. Where was the stat that I wanted to pull up here? Yeah. So on Tuesday in the George Mason game, he hit 3 3-pointers. He's made 3 3-point. There's a lot of threes in this. He's made 3 3-pointers in the last 4 games, going back to the Auburn game. So so between Mason, Incarnate Word, Louisville, and Auburn, in 3 of those games he's hit 3 from beyond the arc. So I love the emergence of Isaiah Evans as that outside shooting threat that can get you 8 to 10 points. On a given night here, especially from the outside. And all those that were calling for Kon Knueppel to be benched have been silenced, I suppose, so far in the early going. Because he has been red hot today. Getting out of this little slump. We shoot more inside. I think we're shooting more outside at the moment, actually. Well, it's about even, to be fair. 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. We've taken 11 shots, so 3 of 5 from beyond the arc, and we've made 8, and we're 5 of 6 from inside. So actually, our only misses have come from the outside. We're shooting 73% at the moment. Duke shooting 60% from beyond the arc. The only misses are I've got a flag miss and Knueppel missed 1-3. But he's 2 of 3 so far. So it's actually really, I think what's happening here in the early game is that it's the turnovers and especially the transition here so far, because Duke with 4 fast break points, but the turnovers here is 2 for Georgia Tech. Actually, it's even, but Duke has more points off those turnovers, 4-2. There's a lot of people on social media, Chris, that have been saying number 7 to the bench, and I have just not. I think I've been consistent with saying that that's wrong, because if you're only looking at his scoring, you're actually diminishing his role in the offense. But today he's been scoring early, but he also has 2 assists, so he's got 2 made baskets and 2 assists. I think the assist stat is one of the more important ones here so far. I think the Horns will finish off the Tigers at home today. Texas is such an interesting team to me. I feel like, I don't know, Quinn Ewers is sometimes he's really good, and then sometimes he's really not. It's just, it seems like such a bizarre situation there at quarterback at Texas. I guess I'm thinking that you think back to that Georgia game and you're like, yeah, they didn't really look good. They looked better running the offense with Archie Manning. I don't know. Texas may also have been a team that benefited from sort of irregular scheduling. I don't know if I can't recall them having to play Bama, I don't think. But certainly they played Georgia. Who are the other teams up there in the SEC? As we resume play, actually. So Duke by 11 at the moment, doubling up Georgia Tech here in the early going. 5 on the floor for Duke: Malik Brown, Cooper Flagg, Sion James, Isaiah Evans, and Caleb Foster actually is the 5th one, as Georgia Tech comes up empty on the possession after their called timeout. And Duke resumes on the offensive side here. James is going to square up for 3. Yes! And Duke seems to be just on fire from range here. The threes are dropping. 4 of 6. Yeah, so that's the interesting one that Cat Fan was pointing at, is that Klubnik can actually be really good. Like, I feel like he had a really rough start to the season, but ended up he ends up being very good. They have a very strong finish. Foster, bricked that one off the rim, as Duncan Powell has another 2 points, so 25-13. So it actually might make for a very interesting game, to be honest. Yeah, that Texas Clemson game might actually be interesting. You can't ever count out Dabo Swinney. Obviously, he's been there, done that. Established coach, won championships. He knows how to prepare his team. Though that is a bad foul by Cooper Flagg. He is going to put his Georgia Tech opponent there on the free throw line as he's trying to. There's Duncan Powell. Oh my goodness, he just taps him on the hand. That was it's weak. Fire away, Shane. What you got? Foster is doing better. I think his roll off the bench is taking some pressure off of him, honestly. It looks good. Although I'm not really sure if we have like a true 6 man at this point, because it's not like, well, Foster wasn't first off the bench here in this particular game. I mean, Evans came off the bench, and so did Malik Brown. Came off the bench before Foster. Brick the first free throw, make the second. Still has a third to go, and then yeah. So 1 of 6. Brown is kind of the 6th man. Yeah, it's funny though, because he's like, usually you think of the 6th man as like a scorer, like you come in off the bench and he gives you 10 to 12 or something like that. Brown is like the 6th man, but he's defensive, as Georgia Tech has switched here to a 2-3 zone, which would make Jimmy Boeheim, who's calling this game on the ACC network, very, very, I guess. Oh God, I can't even think of the word in English, honestly. I'm thinking of the word in Spanish at the moment, which is really awkward. What a turnaround jump side by Malowach. I guess it just make Jimmy Boeheim very pleased to see the 2-3 zone. Filled with joy. The word in Spanish is orgulloso, but I don't know what the one in I can't. This is just bizarre. My brain is broken. My translator is broken. James with a strong move. 7 points for him. Actually leading all the Duke scorers, tied with Duncan Powell. Do you feel that the advent of NIL and the transfer portal, that rivalries will lose some of their intensity, since paid players and transfers might not feel the same passion as program players? That is interesting. Let's talk about that one at the timeout. In and out for Georgia Tech on the 3. That is painful, as it was halfway down the cylinder. Duke by 14. I do have some thoughts on this. We can talk about that as we have about a minute here. We're at like 9:06. So, all right, live, yeah. You gotta get in the middle. Put Isaiah Evans at the ACC logo, or put James at the ACC logo. Oh my goodness, nice screen action up top as Mason Gillis can't hit it, and that's going to be a foul on Malowach. So the transfer portal certainly makes things. I actually think that the transfer portal has been worse for college football and basketball than the NIL deals. The transfer portal's like whole mercenary status of players has just been like a nightmare. It also is like very confusing as to, like, how are these like certain people like still around, and the fact that they can keep transferring, which is as Shane is sort of pointing out, like a byproduct of the NIL piece, because like you basically just you go from like job to job. It's like, think about it this way, right? It's like you started at a job, and then after a year on the job, you went to another job because that other job paid you more. And then you basically did this every single year as Knipple finally misses the three there. Ooh, we're going to get a rebound here. Malewich hits the deck. Timeout. Timeout. Nice call by Mason Gillis. If they do award that, but they are going to say it's a jump ball by Georgia Tech. New Killer says he's only here for the first half because Kansas City is playing at 1 p.m. So yeah, I know the schedule is crazy. All good, New Killer. So that jump ball takes it back to Georgia Tech, which should flip the position arrow to Duke. So we'll update that as the next whistle presumably takes us to the timeout. Nice pick and roll action there by Georgia Tech. Well defended by the Blue Devils, and a turnover actually by Georgia Tech. Really well defended by the Blue Devils on the interior. Props to Malewich for that one. And we have stepped on the end line as Caleb Foster turns it over. Okay, so as I was saying, to answer this sort of NIL question, so right, imagine you got a job and then 12 months later you decided to leave that job and go to another one because they're going to give you a pay raise. And then 12 months later you decided to leave that job because the next one was going to give you a pay raise. Now, traditionally, this in like corporate America or like in the business world, like this is perfectly acceptable behavior. I mean, it's a little bit like, you know, feels a little bit mercenary, but like people do this. Usually it's not 1 year, to be honest. Usually it's like 2 years. But like, yeah, they used to tell us after like business school that like the first job out of MBA only lasts for on average is 2 years, and then you like go and switch. So like going from job to job to get yourself a pay raise is not an unfamiliar thing. Now, however, in this sporting world, it does feel a little odd because especially when the limits on like the guardrails on transfers don't seem to exist. Like I don't understand, like there just seems to be no rules about like to where can you transfer, and like there just seems to be no restrictions, right? Like I've always complained about people transferring within the conference, and so you have players that like, now we haven't had like somebody from Duke go to UNC and somebody from UNC go to Duke. Like to Shane's point, like that seems ridiculous, right? Like, but it does happen. I mean, we've had people from Duke go to Virginia Tech. Who was it Power, I think, went to Virginia Tech, right? We've had so I guess he'll play us at some point. There was another Duke guy that transferred inside the conference, and then we had a bunch of transfers. The Jeremy Roach transfer, I don't really mind as much because he already, you know, he did his 4 years here at Duke and he wanted to take his grad year. So that like the grad transfer piece is fine. Like that makes sense to me. But like the sophomore, junior transfer, the senior transfer, like, okay, there should be a cool down at least, right? Like there's a couple things. Number one, I don't know. It's hard to say no, you can't transfer within conference because like you'd almost be like, you could come at it from the other side. People would basically tell you, well, then you're restricting the student athletes' academic, like, you know, ability to choose their academic institution or whatever. Which is like, okay, like, so yes, like that's the counter argument to it, is like the student athlete portion of it. They should be able to go to school wherever they want, or wherever they can get in, or wherever they can translate their credits. But like, I don't know. It feels to me like we're beyond the whole like, oh, they're like amateur athletes. Like at this point, like the game is up, guys. Like you got away with that in the mid 2010s, right? Like when you were like, oh yeah, no, you can't pay them because they're student athletes and like, they're here to getting their degrees and so on and so forth. But when you're actively paying these guys to play, like that whole student athlete conversation goes out the window. So what I will think is going to happen is that these NIL deals are going to turn into like professional contracts. What we have not seen in these NIL deals yet, for example, is a no trade clause, right? Or like a no transfer clause that says you need to, in order to get this NIL, you need to stay for at least X time or play at least X games. Or like your NIL is distributed based on the number of games you play, right? So right now it feels like it's just this like sort of lump sum of money that you get at, I don't know, at the start of the season, at the end of the season. I don't know when you get it, but like, right? So as soon as we start see like, yes, the no trade clause, no transfer clause doesn't exist yet. I fully believe that will start coming in, as do I believe that there will be incentive clauses for NIL deals, because that just makes a ton of sense. Because as like, for example, if your team makes the postseason, the NCAA tournament, and at least makes the Sweet 16 or the Elite Eight, then you get more NIL money. And that makes sense on two fronts. One, coaches get paid bonuses based on based on those incentive structures. And two, there's just more exposure. So like, if you make it to the Final Four, for example, all these guys are going to be in NCAA March Madness commercials. So obviously you're going to make more NIL money. So I do think that those two things are coming to NIL deals. You will see them within the next year or two at most, I would expect. As we have another 3-pointer there by Dongo for Georgia Tech. So 29-18. But yeah. Nick is saying that somebody put his carbonated energy drink in the freezer. I expect that energy drink probably exploded, or actually, it's probably so synthetic that maybe it did not. Actually, I just now walked into Burger King and I see 2 UNC fans, and I'm about to tell them that they have some trash on their shirts. That is funny. I saw a UNC fan at the gym yesterday. I almost threw up. Now, granted, it was leg day, so I was feeling like, and towards the end of my workout, like I was feeling it, but like that one almost set me over the edge. Yeah, see, that'd be fun for a college basketball because the Cinderella school could come around and make more money. Exactly. We also know, and this has been well documented, that the schools that go farther in the tournament, as we have Knipple hitting his third 3-pointer, get a greater percentage of the allocation of the money, right? Or sorry, the conferences do. So like as your team progresses through the tournament, you get an extra share of the pie because you're playing more games. So that for that to go into the NIL pool, and as Kat is saying, like that to flow down to the players, again, makes sense to have some sort of incentive structure built into these contracts. So yeah, so I actually think that if the schools are smart, they will start structuring contracts in such a way as to minimize the transfer. And then players will try to negotiate either like a clause to get out of the contract, or they just essentially become free agents at some point, right? Kind of like you would in the professionals. The last one points there was by Lance Terry, as we got 32-22. Lance Terry scoring about 15.5 points per game for the Yellow Jackets, their leading scorer. Is it okay to say we'll beat UNC this year? We'll beat them twice, at least a minimum twice. So yeah, is Terry there, who's only 2 points so far, the leading scorer for Georgia Tech, also shooting about 40% from three, but hasn't connected as Malawach is at the free throw line. So Shane, I hope that's that discussion answers your question. I didn't drink it. It turned into a slushy. Yeah, I would not. I would not touch that, Nick. I would not touch that. Malawach makes both of the free throw lines, so he's got 4. So the piece about waiting till the end of the year to transfer does make sense to me. I don't think we're going to see it in basketball, but yeah, the whole like football players transferring before their bowl game or even before their college football playoff game, that seems wrong to me. Like the regular season ends and then like they decide to just opt out of the postseason, like that doesn't fly in the pro leagues, right? Like you don't. There's a trade deadline, and the trade deadline is well in front of like the postseason. Nice shot there by Flag. Flag has finally found the range. That's great for Cooper there to help his confidence. Easy bucket. Oh, actually, the shot goes right over the rim. Good defense by the Blue Devils as Powell can't connect on the rebound and Duke can't collect the rebound. So Georgia Tech is going to get a third crack at it on this possession. Duke by 15 at the moment, 37-22, 4:08. We actually avoided the slow start, chat. Very, very impressed. Very impressed. George jump stop, gives it to Powell. Powell working on Flag here. Don't get your second flag. Oh my goodness. Cooper! It's so easy. Like that it makes it so easy for the refs too. He's not vertical. It's terrible defense. He gets bumped in the chest and he drops his arms down. And as soon as he does that, he's having the refs call the foul on him. And I honestly I can't argue against it because it's I would have called it. I was like, call it from my chair here, man. Yeah. Powell makes both free throws. He's got 9. With a very balanced smattering of Duke scoring. Knipple with 9, Flag and James with 7, Proctor with 5, Isaiah Evans with a 3, and Malik Brown with a 2. Malawach actually with 4. Proctor, jab step looking. They clear out the side for him. Very tough there and gets it outside to Flag. Basically bails him out of that place. 6 seconds. Flag tries to go up with it and loses it out of bounds. So that's a turnover. Duke by 13 at the 3:35 mark here of this first half. So Flag's got 2. Evans has 1. I had that one right. Knipple's got the other one. Okay. That's 5 and 5 to 5. 2 fouls for Nathan George. I was missing those. Okay. We have since cooled down from our red hot shooting of 78%. We're down to 62 as the 3-pointers here, 6 of 12, which is still considerably better than we've been doing lately. The free throws 5 of 7, not terrible, but Duke with 5 turnovers here. We're losing actually the turnover margin that was previously even. Georgia Tech has kind of shored things up a little bit, but they still find themselves down 13. And it's really a result of these 3-point shots because Georgia Tech has managed to take 4 more shots than Duke, but has made 4 fewer ones. And they have essentially the delta is in the 3-pointers. They are 2 of 6 from 3-point range. We are 6 of 12. The 4 3-pointers there basically gets you it's a 13-point difference. That's 12 points out of the 13, and we're +1 in the free throw column. So that's the 13th point. So really the difference being made at the 3-point line today for Duke. the fact that the energy drink did not explode is a bit concerning, I think. And honestly, probably makes it extremely concentrated. Like, think about it from the perspective of, like, if you ever put beer if you ever freeze beer and, like, get the water out, that's how they make, like, Bush Ice or Natty Ice, right? You freeze it, you skim the water off the top of it because the water is going to freeze before the alcohol, and all of a sudden you have a higher alcohol percentage. All of a sudden your energy drink is much more concentrated than it was before because the water's come out of it. Five on the floor here for Duke. Evans, Proctor, Knipple, Brown, and Gillis. It's an interesting second unit. Kynes energy drink. No man, I can't do the energy drink stuff. It's not good for my heart. Georgia Tech to inbound here. 3:35 left in the first, trailing by 13 to our Duke Blue Devils after the Duke turnover and the TV timeout. Resumption of play here. Lance Terry over by the Georgia Tech logo gives it to Mustaf. Good Duke defense. Nice switch there. Now Gillis onto Mustaf. And back to Terry, who's being guarded by Evans. Evans's defense has been better, and Mustaf is going to go for three. Oh, he's going to hit that one from the top of the key. Hand down, man down, as Gillis gets beat over the top. So 10 points. Soda every once in a while. Actually, no soda for me. It's just water. Although now I'm a little concerned with all the fluoride in the water, I guess, that I've been drinking. But I'm hoping that my filter is like filters it out, although probably not. So Gillis inside for two. Nice. He finally gets on the board. Yeah, we'll definitely check. We'll do a round for all the scores at halftime. There's a lot going on as Duncan Powell converts. He's got two more there. He's got 11. It's the first player into double figures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 Duke players so far has scored there, with Gillis being the 8th. Knipple coming around the screen. This is where he's found his 3-point shot. He gets fouled here by Terry as he begins his drive. Nice move by Knipple as Malawach, Flag, and James are ready to check back in for Brown, Evans, and Gillis, which will reset the starting five here for the Blue Devils. The Virginia Tech game, I mean, that game's at home on New Year's Eve. It's a home game, so we should be all right. Virginia Tech in Blacksburg, man. You don't want to have a highly ranked Duke team going into Blacksburg. So I'm glad that we avoid it. We avoid the whole like trap game at Virginia Tech with a top ranked Duke team, which is like number 5 right now, right? That's where Blacksburg is basically where top ranked Duke teams go to die. As George gets his 3rd, actually. That's kind of big. There are 3 fouls in the first half, and Proctor will go to the free throw line. So really nice scheduling that it's a home game, and he misses the first. Man, we are just so lackadaisical at the free throw line, man. Just like, yeah, just shoot it. Like, oh my God, he missed them both. Come on, man. Could have been 12, is now 10. 5 of 9 from the free throw line will do that. We had as many, the lead was as big as 15 at one point, I believe, and the biggest lead. Yeah, free throws make the game closer, essentially. So now we're at 10. Oh my goodness. And now they're going to get an and one. Defend for 30 seconds, give up an and one. Great. I will say the free throw line, if Duke loses a shocker in the tourney, will be the culprit. Yeah. I mean, that or we just have another horrific shooting night. I mean, to be fair, the culprit in the tourney last year was not really the free throw line. It was the NC State game where we just couldn't hit the ocean. I mean, yeah, the free throws weren't going to help us out of that game. But this game certainly is closer. Oh, my goodness. 7 points now, the margin here. I really would like to see us go into the halftime locker room up 10. I mean, you give Georgia Tech, they trailed by 15 points. They've cut the lead in half. You can't give them, this home team, belief, right? You got to just take their crowd out of it. Going to clear out the side. Oh, my God. Flag turned it over. Here we go. Timeout. 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 Absolutely. Timeout. 12-2 run Virginia for Georgia Tech over the last 3 minutes. We were up 15, and the team kind of fell asleep here, and they forgot that they're playing a road ACC game against a hungry Georgia Tech team. Pesky, man. Ay. 7 straight points for Georgia Tech. 7 straight points. The turnovers are killing us too. 6 turnovers, only 3 turnovers for Georgia Tech. "30-second timeout." This turnover was completely unforced. He didn't even poke it out. Like, Flag dribbled it off his knee. At least Knipple didn't give up a foul to make that an and one. That could have been worse. All right, we got to get something going here. We had hoped for a 10-point advantage into halftime. We'll be lucky if we get a 5-point advantage. Brown to Flag. Flag forces it up and in. That is all Cooper Flag, man. That is just raw talent. Falling down with the right hand. Good defense. Nice poke out there by Brown. I thought James could have gone for that ball if he had dove for it. A little leaner there from Terry. It's back to 5 as Duke will hold for the last shot. Georgia Tech hasn't missed in their last 5 attempts. So what was a 15-point lead is now 5. Just whatever we do not give them another crack at it. Knipple for 3. Oh, not quite. 2 seconds, 1 second. No. Okay. Well, at least we actually held it for the last shot. It wasn't going to count even if he, yeah. All right. Well, Georgia Tech got on a heater there at the end. In their last 5. What did he say that was, they were 9? Yeah, they had 9 makes up until like the 4-minute timeout, and then they got 5. Why are there fans near the ad boards? Probably because the ad boards moved to the fans. The fans probably didn't move to the ad boards. You got to put the ads everywhere. Malawatch has 2. All right. So let's take a look at some of the other scores from around the league. So 7-0 Penn State. As we house a pick 6. Well, that's kind of cool. Because SMU is finally getting punished for their SMU finally getting punished for their mistakes, which Duke could not do back in the day. So there you go. Now I can get rid of the ads. So that one. And then what was it? Oh yeah, so Pitt, Baltimore at 4:30. I mean, it's crazy. Houston, Kansas City, interesting game. NBC Peacock. Very few people will watch that because of well, I guess it's only on Peacock. Probably not. All right. What else is going on in college? Anybody else surprised that UConn is ranked 11? Didn't they like basically fall out of the rankings after their disastrous Maui, and now they're back at 11? Who did they beat? Who did they beat to get back up? So lose. Oh, they beat. Oh, all right. They beat Baylor and Gonzaga. Okay, I was not paying attention to that. This was a double overtime game. I think it was a single overtime or double overtime against Xavier. All right, so they have legit wins here. 4 points, 6 points, close. These games are close. This is not like the interesting. They're not quite clicking at the pace that they were last year. Wow, Florida 54-17 over UNF. Dear God. Marquette 27. Memphis over Mississippi State. Memphis. Wow, 18-5. That game is early. Happy birthday, Cooper Flag. Duke shot 13 of 18 against KU and lost by 3. Some of those were front ends. Yep. KU shot 11 of 12. Small details. I still think that if you miss the front end of a 1-and-1, it should count as 0 for 2. Because you technically missed the second one by not taking it. And then like the stats would be very surprising, I think. I think Pitt will be tough. Was it? Is Pitt? I think is the team that was voted to end third, right, in the ACC. Is that right? Wow, Syracuse is getting absolutely killed. Yeah, you're right. Holy moly, 43-17. Dear God, what's this? 30? It's like 30. It's like 20. 26 points. Yikes. Virginia Tech, St. Joseph's. Virginia Tech 5 and 6, St. Joseph. Oh, that'd be a great win for St. Joseph's, actually. Yeah, I mean, we definitely need wins against. I mean, we definitely can't afford many losses in the ACC because, to be fair, like, there's not a lot of very good teams. Like, this Georgia Tech team is not very good. Like, we just need to, like, win this game and get the hell out of here. This is like a quad 3 game. So, Wake Forest, Clemson, Sam Hughes, Pitt and Sam Hughes. Let's see. Let's see. Pittsburgh has lost to ranked Wisconsin. Okay. Lost to Mississippi State, who is right now crushing Memphis, ranked Memphis. Eastern Kentucky. Beat Virginia Tech. It seems like Virginia Tech's having a bit of a down season. So yeah, that might be a nice game in Cameron on New Year's Eve. Well scheduled, I guess. Louisville, Florida State. Oh, Florida State at 9-3. Let's see who they lost to. We know Louisville's lost to us. They lost to NC State. Okay. Miami at Mount St. Mary. Oh, Mount St. Mary at Miami. Okay, that one's here in Miami. 4-7. Gross. Clemson is always a tough one, though. Let's see. Oregon, Stanford. Number 10, Oregon. Wow. UCLA, North Carolina. Wow, UCLA 10-1. Beat Oregon. Okay, so they have a good win. Beat Arizona. This is unfortunate, man. This is Arizona. Like the wheels have fallen off for Arizona here. The Arizona at 4-5. Like our win out at Arizona is looking worse and worse. It's looking not as good. It's not say it's worse. It's just like looking not as good, right? Like this should be a quad 1 win, and they are just sliding here. Lost to Wisconsin at the time they were 2-1. They'd only lost to Wisconsin. Then they lose to us. They get just demolished by us. Then they lose to Oklahoma, West Virginia, UCLA. Wow. We need Arizona to like pick it up because it diminishes that win. Honestly, very unfortunate. When you get down to March, Cal. Interesting. Cal's got a 7-4. Oh my gosh, Cal on a 3-game losing streak. Oh, 1 for the last 3. Yeah. I don't know if Arizona's got some tough games. I mean, like, are these like if we go back to Arizona, like, we really think against Southern Utah? Okay, UCLA, sure. Samford, all right. They beat by 30. They beat by 40. They lost by 5. They lost by 7. Lost by 14. I don't know. What do we got? Penn State, SMU. We got 7-0 SMU, Penn State here. College football is being mid. Up 14. Wait a sec. Did they just? How'd they do that? Wait. It was SMU ball. What just happened? Interception return. They've housed them twice. What? I mean, I told you, man. I said state big, right? Like, I said state big at the top. Like, SMU, man, it's a joke. I can't even. I don't even know if I feel bad for Bama. I just like wonder like if there was like somebody else out there. Maybe it would have been a better game than this. All you had to do was watch SMU play Duke. Know that they were like, wow, Duke is like not that good of a football team. All right. They should have lost. Say SMU should have lost that game. And you would not have any issues. But no. We knew what the committee did not. And then you had to watch. You should have watched them in the Clemson game, and be like, I don't know here. Like this doesn't look good. And be like, yeah, they probably don't deserve to be in. The rest of the energy drink is in the trash outside because all that was left was ice. I'm can't believe you're not bouncing off the walls, man. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, these throws are terrible. Wait, why can't I thought the whole point of picture-in-picture mode was that so I could play two things at once. Boise State, no, Boise State almost beat Oregon early in the year. That's yeah. Oh, I do like this scoreboard. It looks very sleek. I like how it's very low profile. Like it doesn't take up a lot of room. It's very I think the entire concept of like having the playoff at a home state like as a home game is really cool. I guess we're close to resuming play here. Nick, you don't like Disney. I can't help you with that one, buddy. Well, they own ESPN, so it's a little difficult. We should be pretty close to coming out of halftime here. All right, we need a really strong first 4 minutes out of half because the way we ended that first half was pretty trash, honestly. Not really in four down. I don't know why the announcer is saying you're in four down territory. You're down 2 scores, basically, with the entire second quarter still to go. Like, thinking you need to go on fourth down and like panicking here is not what you don't even. Not what you want, honestly. All right, we gotta be close. We gotta be close. All right, here we go. Let's do it, folks. We'll go back to the football game later, although it's probably just gonna keep getting out of hand. Cat fan, not a fan. Cat fan, not a fan of the college football. All right, Duke starting with the ball, which will flip the possession arrow to Tech. Whoops. Knipple was hot in the first half here. 9 points on 3 of 5 shooting. Is going to go alley-oop up top to Malawach, who's got 6. So Duke going to go inside to get things going. The one piece of foul trouble to keep an eye on is Nathan George, number 1 from Georgia Tech, has 3 fouls currently. Duke so far looks okay, although Flag has 2 and Malawach has 2. If they pick up a third one early, that would be a problem. But here's Terry from 3. He finally gets one to go down, and it's a 4-point game here. Again, 40% three-point shooter and 15.5 points per game for Georgia Tech. Could not get it going in the first half as Proctor looks to answer on the opposite side, and he does. Beautiful answer by Tyrese Proctor there. Extends the lead back out to 7. Duke needs to stop. Terry could not get it going in the first half, as I was saying right before Proctor hit his 3. So we really kept him down, which was nice. He's being guarded by Proctor right now. Now get on the floor for that one, boys. Come on. Good defense by Malawach here. And he gets the rebound. That was Dongo versus Malawach. Knipple going to put the ball on the floor. Knipple with a nice little mid-range shot. Yes. Back out to 9. Duke's got to play some defense here. Not a fan of feel like. Why do you hate it, Cat fan? High off the rim. No, and that'll be off. That's going to be off of Georgia Tech. Do you not like it because it's like messy, or it's like, I mean, to be fair, there's not that many differences between, because the game is simpler. Do you not like the fact that a pass interference is not spot of the foul? Like, oh my goodness, that's almost a turnover. That should go off the foot of Georgia Tech as Duke will retain possession. But boy, that was almost a mid-court turnover. That was going to be a run out for Georgia Tech. We just dodged a massive bullet there. Woo! Duke looking to go up 12. They're going to try to run the pick and roll again, and they do. You saw that one coming from a mile away as Duke extends to an 11-point lead. So yeah, that turnover could have made it 7, but it's now 11. So nice 4-point swing there. Duke very good here out of the gate here in the second half. Very assertive, knowing exactly what they want to do. They're putting less emphasis on the 3-point shot, more emphasis on inside with Malawach there and Knipple. That's 2 assists so far. In and out there on the 3. Tech is going to get another shot at it. They're on the rebound. Interior passing by Tech actually results in a turnover. One too many passes. He probably should have just taken it. Proctor going to drive. No, he's actually going to give it to Khan. And we're going to try to run the high screen and roll again, except with James and Malawach this time. Malawach cutting. That time Georgia Tech covers it as Flag tries to drive baseline, but gets fouled by George. That's Mustaf. That's his first. Duncan Powell currently on the bench here with 11. It's actually was the leading scorer for Georgia Tech. James on the inside actually gets it blocked. Tried to go with a little mid-range jump shot there. Blocked by Mutombo. Shot no good. And we have an over-the-back call against Georgia Tech's Dongo, second. Yeah, good block. The block by Mutombo against us. No. I actually don't know if they're related. I didn't look that part up. There were no game notes from Georgia Tech. Kind of hard. Usually, like, you can read through like what the schools, the propaganda that the schools put out about themselves, but Georgia Tech back in the 2-3 zone here. Cooper Flag's going to take a mid-range jump shot. That is usually money for him, and that one drops as expected. That mid-range jump shot is tremendous for Cooper Flag, and Georgia Tech has to call a timeout before the media timeout as Duke has extended to a 13-point lead. Very, very nice job here by our Blue Devils. Georgia Tech did come out of the gate, as you can see here, with a strong three-point shot, which was immediately answered by Tyrese Proctor. And then Duke has just not looked back. 11-3 here in the first 4 minutes of the second half. So I think they got a lesson from Jon Scheyer in at the halftime locker room, basically saying, "Look, guys, like this is what happens when you don't lock it in and you lose focus." Oh, he is Dikembe's son. All right, so they are related. That's awesome. Anyway, as I was saying, I'm pretty sure like this is what happens when you lose focus. You're up big. You let the home team come back in it. You let the home crowd get back in it. You got to come out and just kind of slam here in the second half. So this actually going to turn into a full timeout, it looks like. Georgia Tech wants to take its sweet time. Elijah, I guess. Yeah, Duke 9-0 run over the last 2 minutes and 41 seconds. Really 11-3 here in the second half, as Georgia Tech hasn't made a bucket in their last 4. Oh, for the last 4. It was supposed to be a 30-second timeout, but this is taking way longer than 30 seconds. Interesting that the rebounding is actually very low rebounding in this game from both teams. So it's only 16-13. I thought it would be more. Like those numbers would be higher. It's only 20 total rebounds. Both teams with 22 points in the paint, though, so both of them have decided to go down low. But yeah, the Duke shooting percentage sitting at 67% from the floor, and Georgia Tech down at 43. I mean, Duke field goal defense averaging around 35. So all right, here we go again. We're probably going to get another timeout here in about 20 seconds of game time. Georgia Tech hard to the rim. The shot, what did they say? Not exactly deflected, but bothered. Bothered is the right word there. Bothered by Sion James, and Georgia Tech comes up empty, so over their last 5. We try to run the pick and roll action again, but actually, this time it goes to James, who was denied by Dongo down low. What a block, actually, by Georgia Tech's Dongo there. Woo! 3-pointer, no. Nice rebound by Malowacz, really strong, and they're actually going to try to get... This is a held ball? They're going to call jump ball on that. as Duncan Powell will force the jump ball, and that will retain possession for Georgia Tech. Wow. He basically just stole a rebound from us. That is unfortunate. Wow, Duke, yeah, held ball, Duke turnover, Georgia Tech steal is how that's scored. Wow. Yeah, Malowacz just got a raw deal. That was going to be his rebound. Actually, Malowacz with 4 rebounds, James with 4 rebounds. Cooper Flagg only has 2 rebounds so far today, but he has got his 11 points. Usually his rebounding numbers are much higher than that. All right, there has not been another pick 6 in the other game. That's crazy. Should be able to have both games on at once, I would think. There we go. Like Penn State is driving right now. Well, happy Sunday, everybody. Duke with a great start to the second half. And reasserting itself here, looking to get its first, actually its second road win of the ACC slate. They both kind of crazy. We start the ACC with 2 road games. Hi, buddy. Oh, look, you're so warm. You've been out in the sun. Hi. This little boy's gonna need a bath tonight. He's starting to smell very dog-like. Yes, he's gonna need a bath this evening. And State just try a trick flea flicker play. All right, let's do it. Here we go. Hi, bud. North Carolina on the naughty list. Lost first 4 games versus ranked opponents. 6-5. The ACC, oh my God. 0.635 combined win percentage. 44-30 versus the SEC this season. Oh, there you go. Penn State with another touchdown. Now things are getting out of hand. What I said, State big, right? I was not wrong. Shot by Georgia Tech out of the timeout. Nothing going for the Yellow Jackets right now. They are not stinging like bees at the moment. There's the high screen. They're going to try to go the alley-oop again. Oh! Malowacz almost brought it down for a 3rd time, but actually misses. Dongo gets the foul, though, as we'll go to the free throw line. Hi, bud. Win percentage by conference, SEC, 0.886. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, that's the problem with the ACC is that, and why we needed to get those really good wins against like the likes of Auburn and Arizona, is because you got to go out of conference to get marquee wins so that you can build your tournament resume. I mean, at this rate, the Carolina game isn't going to, at the rate that Carolina is going, that might not really help us that much. Certainly hurt us if we lost, but it might not really help us. Malawatch 1-2. Flag actually deflects the free throw. Nice by James. Oh, Flag can't get the rebound, but Malawatch gets the rebound. Now our boys are fighting for it. A deflection off from the rebound by Cooper to James. Then a beautiful pass to Cooper, but he couldn't finish. And then Malawatch finishes everything. So we actually end up with a 3-point possession. Instead of going 1 of 2, just getting 1 point at the free throw line, we get 3. And now it's a 16-point game, which is the largest lead of the afternoon. As Powell tries to go for 3, that doesn't go, and Georgia Tech can't hit the ocean at the moment. Now they're in a lot of trouble. They finished the first. That's an offensive foul. That's an offensive foul by Cooper Flag. Yeah, actually, that should be a block. At full speed, it looks like a charge because kind of Cooper lowers the shoulder. But yeah, that's absolutely a block. That's absolutely a blocking foul. That's Terry was nowhere near set, man. In any case, as I was saying, Georgia Tech was 5 of their last 5, but is now 0 of their last 9. Make it 10 as that. So sorry, that was the 9, and that was a complete air ball. Georgia Tech hasn't scored, save from the first shot they took in the second half. Honestly, I feel like we need a makeup call for that charge, that block charge. Tech still, well, yeah, going back to the zone here. Flag is going to try to shoot over it. Flag way too strong. Ooh, Malawatch with a beautiful rebound, well positioned, and Flag is going to throw it down. Malawatch on the assist. Flag, there was nobody. You had 3 people looking at Malawatch, and Flag just flies in there. He's got some great poster shots. Like there was that Superman, half Superman that he was doing last game. That was a great photo. Another air ball for Georgia Tech, 2 on the last 2 possessions. It's really funny to me when Cooper Flag does the whole muscle flex thing at the end of the dunks, because he's not really that big. He is kind of still, he definitely hasn't developed. And Knipple is going to go track this ball down, and it's still live. What do we got? Oh, we're going to Georgia Tech, but they got 8 seconds. Well, Georgia Tech just threw this ball in the backcourt, and I don't know, they just didn't communicate where it was going? Yeah, that was a miscommunication. He zigged when he should have zagged. Amazing effort there by Knipple to track it down. He thought he was going to come up with a steal. Ends up. But still, Georgia Tech with 8 seconds, they're going to have to basically go the length of the court and get a shot up. We should be pressing up. Why do you give him oh my God. What? Ibrahima Soare. There you go. Knipple for 3. I don't understand why the defense just stopped playing. It was 8 seconds on the shot clock. They had to go basically 94 feet. You let them cross with no resistance. You should have at least had them take 4 or 5 seconds away in the backcourt. But we didn't want to play up or anything. That was questionable call there. I don't understand that. Evans in the game now, so it's Evans, Brown, Flag, Proctor, and Knipple. We got a foul on the floor. Got a foul on the floor for Isaiah Evans, number 2. He's got 3 points. Foster and Gillis in. Flag, Proctor out. So we definitely have the full second unit in at the moment. Let's see if and the lead is 19 currently. Let's see if the lead changes at all, one way or another. Three-pointer here by Georgia Tech. Oh, that shot goes down by JB and McCullum. Now it's only a 16-point lead. Foster, oh, I thought he was going to take three, gives it to Gillis. Gillis turns it over. Oh my goodness. Boy, if Georgia Tech scores again, we should put all the other guys back in. I think we're just trying to get them out for the under 12 media timeout to give them a little bit of a extended rest, but come on, guys. Good defense there by Foster. Great defense by Brown to poke that one out. 3 seconds on the shot clock. It's intercepted. Intercepted by Knipple going the other way with it, and the dunk. Terry almost tried to block that, but got away at the last second. And a timeout. Georgia Tech. Down to 1? Yeah. Wow, that was almost a meeting at the summit. Goodness. All right, back to the State and SMU game. As we're looking, looks like SMU's quarterback was injured. Well, it's over. 21-0 with 3 left in the second. Penn State with the ball at the 38-yard line. And actually going to keep going. I was impressed, actually. So we were talking about all this stuff about the NIL deals and the transfer portal and everything. Penn State's quarterback actually decided that he would come back for his senior season. So there you go. As far as like people wanting to stick around. And Penn State going to run this thing right up the gut. And I should have. My brother said that somebody he knew was doing a playoff bracket pool, and I was like, I'm not really sure if I have an edge on this one or would really know. So far, I would have gotten the first 2 of them right, although not as easy. The hard ones to get right are going to be the Tennessee, Ohio State, and the Clemson, Texas. Those are going to be harder to get right later today. Chad, what do we think between those? Who are we taking here? Clemson, Texas, and OSU, Tennessee. Are we just going to go with the home teams? Yeah, that is incomplete. I would probably sway towards the home teams there. Although you don't want to know, you want to know who most likely to get upset would be Ohio State. Tennessee, maybe. Depends. I guess depends what the weather is. What do we have on the weather for tonight? OSU favored by 7. Wow, by a touchdown. That's like again 28 degrees at game time. Wow, if Ohio State can't pull that off, I don't know. And it does also kind of get cold in Tennessee, but do you think we get Cooper Flagg 25 points? No. No. It would surprise me if he got 20. To be fair, he doesn't really need him. I mean, look, if Cooper Flagg got 20, that's plus 7. You go from where we are now, you go from 62 to 69. Call it 70. You don't really need that many more points to win this game. Like 70, 75. Like if Duke gets to 80, this thing's over. I mean, this thing is over now, but like Georgia Tech did go on a significant run at the end of the first half. Like, they might have another run in them, right? Like, it brought it to as close as 4 points by halftime. Like, either Georgia Tech does have another run in them, or they're just like, couldn't hung. It's like one of those, they hung with Duke in the first half and then couldn't hang with them in the second kind of situations. Great defense by Duke on the interior, though. And Terry can't put one in. And the rebound to the Blue Devils. Knipple pushing it up the floor. Over to Gillis. Nice pass over to Foster. Back to Gillis. Gillis for three. Gillis is in and out. So that shot doesn't go down. That would have made it 21. It felt really good about that. We got a reach-in foul by Gillis. That's first. Our next game on the schedule, Virginia Tech on the 31st. So we got a 10-day break, ladies and gentlemen. Merry Christmas to all. We'll see you all at the end of that 10-day break as we'll resume play next Tuesday. No, next Tuesday. Nice steal by Gillis there. And actually, it's technically a deflection. I guess we didn't end up with it, so. Now Georgia Tech trying to drive. There's Mustaf, blocked off by Brown. And here's Terry working on Knipple. Terry trying to go left, gets cut off. Now gets switched on to by Evans. Again, trying to go left, deflected by Knipple. Actually, that was blocked. Now overhead to Evans. Evans for a rare two. Oh, blocked from behind. Gillis keeps it and gets it back outside to Foster. Foster penetrating the drive. Yes! Caleb Foster into the box score with 2. And Duke by 20. As the crowd is completely out of it at this point, and Gillis is going to get his second foul. He's got to move his feet. The rebound, that was a Gillis rebound, I think, where he like kicked it back outside. I do like that the Yellow Jacket has a yellow Christmas, like a gold yellow Christmas hat. That's funny. So on brand. That block is insane by Brown. Gillis driving. Nice pump fake by Gillis. He's got 4. Yeah, the yellow Christmas hat is very well done. On brand by the Yellow Jacket mascot. I'm a fan. Approved. I should have changed the color of the one on the thumbnail to the Georgia Tech. Now that I think of it, I should have changed the color. They one-up me. Nathan George finally gets another 2. Got 4 points. Evans to Gillis. And Duke, are we content to just run clock here a little bit? Like, what do we... That's a trip. That's a trip. As Knipple hits the deck. The score thing. Oh, the newly designed top at the score at the top. Yeah. I gotta rethink the. We can just take a 24-second violation to run the clock. Yeah, we should just like run it late into the shot clock at this point. Penn State, by the way, threatening yet again on the 7-yard line of SMU with a minute 51 to go. His first and goal at the 7 for the Nittany Lions. Proctor thought about 3. Georgia Tech back in its zone, which really hasn't worked for them. Flag inside and gets it outside to Proctor. The 3 was halfway down. Oh, my goodness, that is painful. Oh, my goodness. The rotation on that shot. Proctor sold out to try to get the steal there, and Soare with another 2 points. Screen by Flag. Now we've got Foster alone. Yes, Foster for 3 right in front of the Duke bench. Nice shot. Duke by 21. Maybe Duke really isn't slowing it down. They're just pressing the gas here. Turnover. What? We got a turnover? We got a carry? What do we have? It's a turnover by Georgia Tech. What is that officially scored as? It says a turnover. 8:09 to go. Duke by 21. Proctor trying to make it 24. Oh, in and out again. He's missed his last 2 threes. Proctor only with 8 points today. Let's see. He's 1 of 4 from beyond the arc. Usually hits 2 a game. Oh my goodness. Powell leaves it at the front of the rim. And now James is going to foul him. That is kind of the way that the Georgia Tech game has gone here in the second half in a nutshell. With Duncan Powell being denied by the rim. You know, a UNC fan that tells me that UNC will beat Duke. I mean, of course the UNC fans will say that. They're trying to hang on to any shred of hope that they possibly have. Flag is not the favorite for the Wood. I mean, he's only a freshman, though. It's kind of hard to give the Wooden Award to a freshman when you don't have like a body of work on which to evaluate them. The beef stew is officially in the crock pot. Ooh, sounds delicious, Shane. I had beef stew on Wednesday. Nice. 8 hours from now? It's going to be a long 8 hours. You're going to have dinner at like 10 o'clock or something. Assuming you're on the East Coast. Maybe you're not, though. Or maybe you're behind. Second and goal for Penn State. They're going to try. Ooh, no. I thought they were going to try the tush push there, but they just handed off to their running back. And it's an easy touchdown. 27-0. SMU is just getting smashed. So, like, okay, here's the thing. You all can say that, yeah, Alabama wasn't a good team, but they were better than SMU. You don't really need to be a good team. You just need to be better than the other guy. They were better than SMU. Okay. And this is the result you get. A 28-0 blowout with a minute left in the first half. Or Ole Miss. Okay, Ole Miss. But this SMU thing is a sham. We knew it was from the beginning. I have been consistent on this one, and I'm right. And I was right. The turnovers have come back to haunt SMU, the ponies, man. It'd be hilarious if Clemson were to beat Texas, and then you say, oh, actually, Clemson should have been the one team out of the ACC. This dude has 3 interceptions in the first half. Yeah, the crazy thing, first 13 games, 8 interceptions. You know what? 3 of them came at Duke. Clemson could be the big cat, and I'm rooting for Boise State. Boise State, yeah. It's too bad they don't get their blue field. They don't get to play on their blue field. Con Knippel with 16 points today. 6 of 10. Rather efficient shooting and 4 of 8 from beyond the arc. You love to see that. You also love to see, where'd he go? The 4 assists. 4 assists and 0 turnovers, by the way, for Con Knippel tonight. to go along with the 16 points. Kid's playing like an all-star right now. SMU is better than Vandy, which beat Bama. If Vandy took care of business, it would be a problem now. It wouldn't have been a problem. Yeah, but doesn't but Bama has wins against like the Ole Miss and stuff, don't they? I mean, if Duke had just beat SMU, it wouldn't have been a problem. Let's be real. Knipple driving, he gets tripped. And yeah, I've got the Penn State game as like a picture-in-picture. I got like a small tile of it in the upper right. So I got both games going right now. Multitasking. It's like total ADD brain, just like watching the Duke game, watching the football game, reading the chat, updating the score sheet. Deion James to inbound here after Knipple was tripped. And Duke with 15 on the shot clock. And nice little two-man game there between Knipple and Flag. Flag gets blocked. Almost gets his rebound back, though. As... Oof. That's a charge. Mustaf hit Proctor. And they're going to call that offensive. Third one on Mustaf. Ongbo's got 3. George has 2. Okay. So Duke by 19, 7 minutes to go. High screen and roll there between Knipple and Malawach. Ball ends up in the hands of Proctor. He's got the turnaround jump shot. That's 10 for Reese. That's the fourth Blue Devil into double figures here on the afternoon. Travel. Travel by Nathan George. Another turnover for Georgia Tech, who's now up to 8. They only had 3 in the first half. So yeah, I love how Duke came out in the second half, took the crowd right out of it after a huge Georgia Tech run to finish the first half. Took the crowd right out of it. They've never been back in it. There's the alley-oop again. They've gone to the well on that play 3 times now. Actually 4. Then they've missed it once, but Malawach with another 2. That's 13 for him. And another assist for Knipple, which brings him up to 5 on the afternoon. Actually, I love how Duke, yeah, there was a 9. Georgia Tech hit their last 5 shots, right? Then they hit the 3 at the start of the second, and you're like, oh boy, it's going to continue. Here we go. But no, like Duke just said, absolutely not. And the defense just completely demolished them. The Duke defense was too much. They're going to try to run the roll again. Well defended by Georgia Tech that time. Is Proctor going to drive inside, and Proctor going to get called for an offensive foul. This is the Duke we like to see. Agreed. They started fast. Actually, we were not down 10 as soon as the game started. They kind of, lost it a little towards the end, but then they came out in the second half and they took the punch, regrouped, came out strong. Uh-oh, the women's team is losing. That's no good. We can't have that. All right, SMU and Penn State have hit the halftime, and so that'll be... They won't come out of halftime before we finish this game. Wide open in the corner is McCullum for 3, and finally Georgia Tech gets a shot to go down. 6 points for him, as the lead is condensed back down to 20. Duke taking it real deep in the shot clock here. Not really initiating any offense before about 15 seconds. Flag slips. Flag has like slipped 3 times in the last couple games and never gotten called for a travel because he somehow manages to keep the dribble going. Flag shot no good. Oh, they should have let Knipple play that out, man. Come on. That's a good steal. Nothing. We're going to go to the other end of the floor for a 1-and-1. Where is the All-Star game? I don't know, actually. Shane is rolling with Notre Dame all the way. Impressive. He's going with Leonard Riley. Do you imagine, man, if Notre Dame won the whole thing with our former quarter? Like, come on. That's so terrible. I would feel so bad. Georgia is going to be tough, but the Beck loss is significant, and I'm not impressed with Stockton. Interesting. I mean, they do have more time to practice, right? They don't have to just like, he wasn't like throw him into the game. Like, Stockton is going to play, so at least he's getting first team reps. So that's good. This is Darian Sutton at the free throw line for the 1-and-1 action here, and he only goes 1 of 2. So the lead is 19 with 4:42 left. Beck isn't very good, so I don't know. Interesting. Not a lot of Beck love in the chat. I honestly, I don't really have an opinion. I don't know. Knipple drives strong to the rim, gets it to go off the backboard. 18. One of the best games this season for Khan. Probably his highest scoring game since the start, where he had 22 in the game against Maine. Probably, yeah, his highest scoring game this season since then. Oof. Flag tried to go for a steal, and actually Georgia Tech threw it out of bounds. The Georgia Tech player cut into the basket, and I think he was expecting, the passer was not expecting it. UNC is playing UCLA. Yeah, a game later today. We could get a Duke basketball win and a UNC basketball loss on the same day yet again, and it would be great. Knipple to Evans. Evans with the catch and shoot. Ooh, I thought that was going in. It looked good. Malawatch with the rebound, and now Evans to Flag, and Duke gonna reset again. They're gonna give it to Knipple, who's been hot all afternoon. Not quite. Malawatch there with the rebound. It looked like somebody had a hand on him though, and that is going to be called a foul as Mutombo called for that. Oh no, sorry, on Soiree. I was like, somebody definitely has a hand on Malawatch's back. And that is going to be the final media timeout here, the 3:40 mark. So we come back, we'll go the distance. But Duke with 21, this game looks to be well in hand. So I think we're good, Chad. I think we're gonna be okay here today. It was a little dicey there in the middle. A little dicey in the middle. But in the end, it worked out. Strong game for Knipple. 18 points on 7 of 12 shooting. 4 of 9 from beyond the arc. 4 rebounds and 5 assists. Also a very strong game from Malawatch, by the way. 13 points, 5 of 5 from beyond the arc. No, sorry, field goals. Not from beyond the arc. And 8 rebounds. Proctor with 10 points on 4 of 7. Very efficient afternoon. Flag 13 points on 5 of 13. Yeah, he's definitely not getting to 25. Nor do we need him to get to 25. It's fine. Duke overall shooting 58% from the floor to Georgia Tech's 38. Both teams have taken 52 shots. Duke 30 of 52. Georgia Tech 20 of 52. And the three-point line continuing to be very favorable for Duke. 41% from 3, 9 of 22 43% from three, actually, for Georgia Tech. 6 of 14. They just haven't taken enough shots from there. Both teams with 10 points off turnovers, and Duke winning the rebounding margin significantly. 11 points. Sorry, 11 plus 11 in the rebounding column for the Blue Devils. I'm so bored. I'm going to do dishes after the game. Your first Fortnite kickoff. What does that mean? Duke won. I have not been following. I obviously know what Fortnite is, but what do you mean by a first Fortnite kickoff? Actually, the points in the paint for the Blue Devils have really swung in. I should say the points in the paint have really swung in the favor of the Blue Devils. It was 22 all at half in terms of points in the paint. And it's now 38-28 in favor of Duke. Oh, they had Fortnite as a sponsorship. Oh, that's cool. Hey, there's the close-up of the yellow jacket in the Christmas stuff. Looking good. I think Flag will get the Wooden Award. I don't know if he'll get the Wooden Award. I think he'll get Freshman of the Year. Was it Rookie of the Year? Certainly in the ACC. I'll watch at the free throw line here. He's going to be a 1-1. What if they had a college football 25 bowl game? Like if they had 25 teams? And Malawatch is 2 of 2 at the line. His free throw shooting has been really, really good this season. 5 of 6 today. And we got subs coming in for Duke. Oh, like in EA Sports. But they have a college football version. I don't know if they have an NCAA version. I thought they did. I thought they had NCAA basketball. I can never really get into the sports games, honestly, man. I mean, I'm a huge video game player, but like the sports games never did it for me. I don't get it. I guess people like the concept of managing their own sport team or whatever, but wow, shot clock violation. Even up by 23 with less than 4 minutes to go, Duke has not stopped playing defense. A shot clock violation here and another turnover. And that'll be the end of the day for Flag and Knipple. And let the subs play. I think it'd be cool to play as Duke. Gongba in the game now, actually, trying to play the pick and roll action for him. Malik Brown for 3 in a rarity. But no, I guess the player's having a little fun there. And this is Darren Harris, sorry, is in the game as well, number 8 for Duke. Another air ball for Georgia Tech, and Brown tries to steal it, and doesn't come up with Hubbard. Hubbard might come in with under 60 seconds left. Got another 90 seconds to go. Georgia Tech inbounds it in the backcourt again. 13 seconds to go here. And let's see, Duke doesn't want to press them. And they got 3 seconds here. No. Foster with the rebound. Harris for 3, actually. That looks good, but doesn't go. Gongba tries to get the rebound. Cannot. And Georgia Tech recovers. Not many folks left in the building for the Yellow Jackets, unfortunately. And a rebound for Gongba. as we tick under 2 minutes. Yeah, Georgia Tech fans are indeed filing out as Foster can't get the runner to go. And Georgia Tech driving again, and they'll get an easy 2. That was Dongvo there with 14. Duke really looking to avenge the loss from last season here on this court, a game that we probably should not have lost. There's plenty of Duke fans in the building. We got the camera zoomed in on a couple as we came out of last time out. Foster with the swing pass outside, next extra pass to Harris to Brown, which not a shooter, so not really sure why. But then Isaiah Evans gets bumped and fouled on the drive, the 4th foul for Mustaf on that one. As we got a minute 14 to go, just drain the clock, boys, and get out of here with the W. Georgia Tech should just let the time run out here. St. Joseph beats Virginia Tech. Yeah, the Virginia Tech record, not very good. That's maybe this would have been the season for us to go into Blacksburg and win it there. Although no matter how bad Virginia Tech is, as soon as you show up to Blacksburg with a Duke on your uniform, they'll be like, "Whoa, it's like blood in the water, man." The Piranhas. They're like, "What?" I think this is Sheffield in the game, number 13 for Duke. Foster with the rebound and 54 seconds left in the game. Duke looks like they're going to win by 23. So what I say, if we get to 75, the game's for sure over. I was close. 79. Isaiah Evans coming on the screen there. Evans with the catch and shoot. Evans, beauty. It's good to see him get consistent momentum. I don't mind. I mean, you have to take a shot, so may as well let Evans take a 3-pointer there. By 26 now. Evans actually with a deflection. Georgia Tech retains possession. Gongba blocks it, I think, or it certainly disrupted the shot. And that's going to be it. 12 seconds to go. That'll be it, everybody. Going to Keeley Cows. Have a happy New Year's. No, wait. Have a Merry Christmas. We'll be back on New Year's Eve. The 31st, the game against Virginia Tech. We'll be back right here on the channel. Thank you very much, everybody, for hanging out and watching the game and participating here with us. If you're new, make sure to drop a follow and a sub, or a sub and a like. Otherwise, have a great rest of the weekend. Enjoy the football games, NFL and college, and the rest of the basketball. It's a huge day for sports. I hope you all enjoy it out there. As always, stay safe. Merry Christmas, and see you all on the 31st. Until then, see you later, and go Duke.